G'day folks, how are you? Juddy here. I decided yesterday to lift my gear lever up one notch because to get my boots under it. Memories from my younger years was the time it takes just to be patient with your spanner, one increment at a time to get all those threads out, right? And also, secondly, I'm all ready to go to work. I had plenty of time up my sleeve. Hey, do you mind? Yeah, had plenty of time up my sleeve. Say hello to Poochies. She doesn't like the camera, do you, darling? Oh, you do though. You love it, hey? You're like me. Put a camera in front of you and you show the old white pearlies. Anyway, where was I up to? Oh yeah, increment by increment. I didn't bother taking the side case off yesterday because I thought unnecessary, but you know, it would have made it a lot easier. This case I'm talking about, your front sprocket cover. And then I thought today, well, guess what happened? Like anybody who knows, who's done this in the past, and I've done it in the past, is you lift your gear lever, pardon me, and it strikes the case here. Oh man, what a pain in the bum, I tell you. I was on my way to work, couldn't even get second gear, and yeah, one thing led to another. So it's gonna rain today. It's beautiful weather though. Like, you gotta love this weather in summer. It's got to be the best summer in history. Like, it's not stinking hot. It's humid, but yeah. Anyway, so I don't know whether to do a real-time video or not. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull that off, and I'm going to grind a little notch out of it, hoping that it won't weaken the gear lever itself. What do you do? I haven't got an aftermarket gear lever to put on it, so how about we just grind a little notch out here. The steel's thick enough. Yeah, and there's no use bending it because there's no use lifting it and then bending it. Like, yeah, I'm a little bit peeved at myself actually, because yeah, I had to bend it a little bit just to get to work and back, and I've also scarred this case here. Not good. So before I take it off, there's no use doing a real-time vid because it's quite a simple. I'm going to take this off because last time I took it off, I didn't put any Loctite on the bolts, and I thought I'll take that off. Just give me a little bit more light and room in there, a bit more finger room. Take this gear lever off, bend it back to where it's supposed to be, and then cut the notch out. Anyway, hopefully this should be a positive video. Yeah, and one I'm sure many of us have gone through. Memories from a childhood of doing exactly the same thing on motorcycles in the past. You think you'd learn your lesson, but it wasn't even in my brain cells. You know what I mean? Because Kawasaki did come to the party. They did extend the gear lever, but yeah. Why do you not think Kawasaki? Anyway, I still love you, Quacker. I always will. And yeah, so let's get into it. Okay, heaps easier getting it off with the sprocket cover off. It's well worth just taking it off. It's too easy. Get a little bit of a jiggle. And I've already marked it here where I want to cut it off. The heavens are opening. So I'll get back to you in a sec. Oh, actually, if I'm going to make a video, may as well make a video, hey? Alright, it's a little bit dark in here. Where's the light? Show me the light. The band, Elwood. The band. Okay, I see the light. Where are we? Okay, yeah, so I've put a couple of marks there. You probably can't see them because the marks are in black. There they are. So, what I will do, just rest my camera there for a second. If it'll sit. It's very wet. It's going to be very wet. I parked my bike out there because it's easier to, when it's a little bit higher, because I haven't got myself a bike lift yet. So I'm just going to cut a little bit of a guide to what I'm going to do. Just cut a little notch out of there, so it clears that side case. Or yeah, I think it's the side case there. Probably not recommended, but bush mechanics all over the world have probably done this. Probably save you a few dollars. The gear lever is what that steel is like 5mm thick. So I don't think that notch there is going to weaken it. I'm hoping that it won't. Anyway, in fact, there's probably gear levers like this manufactured with a knot out of it. Anyway, we'll give it a go. What's the worst that could happen? Okay, that gives me a bit of an idea. I've only got a cutting wheel to do this. I can't find my grinding wheel, so a cutting wheel it is. And I'll try and be as neat as possible. I've got a heap of files. I might be able to finish it off with a file just to smooth it over. Anyways, I'll get back to you shortly. Okay, one little disclaimer. I see a lot of people do this, it's probably to cover their butt. When I say bush mechanic, I seriously mean I am not a mechanic. Anything I do on this channel is, say, 50 years of experience. I win some, I lose some, I make mistakes, I stuff up, I injure myself. I am not liable for any injury or breakage that you're going to do to your motorcycle if you take my advice. So this is just what I do, okay? So, one, I haven't got a vice, but I have vice grips, which are awesome. I would never just hold this gear lever by my hand and do it. Well, I tell a lie. I would do something stupid like that, but experience has taught me, no son, you're kidding yourself. Get a pair of vice grips, you know, wrap a rag around it so you don't scratch the metal, put it on the world's best workbench, milk crate, and hey, like, you're going to be 10 times safer doing it like that than holding the stupid thing and trying to navigate a grinding wheel which is spinning thousands of revolutions a minute. Anyway, I'll keep you up to date on the progress. Okay, so this is what I was talking about before. I didn't have a grinding wheel, I had a cutting wheel. So that's a metal cut-off wheel, which is very thin, which is really handy for cutting metal. Just thought I'd show you the progress. Just because it's a cutting wheel doesn't mean it's all bad, because you can get a little bit of a, if you just take your time and you just use a part of that cutting wheel, you can sort of get a curve in it. So I will probably shift over to this side and do the same on this side. And that way I won't have a sharp edge on this side, which will, sorry about the focus, it will minimise filing. Yeah, just a little trick of the trade. But always put safety in mind. Wear hearing protection, eye protection, foot protection. Okay, so being 5mm steel, it was quite actually it even looks a bit thick. It could be 7mm. Sorry about the focus. Come on, S21, what's going on? So what I did was I just took a little bit by little bit by little bit, and then I just feathered it off bit by bit. I couldn't do the other side because I really couldn't safely get my grinder in on the right angle on there. So I just persevered from this side bit by bit, and you can see the bit that's left on. It gives me room to just clip that last bit off, and I might even be able to round off those edges with my grinder, even though it's a cutting wheel. If you are patient, you can persevere and win. Making this video reminds me of I only do this because I really love YouTube and the forum of YouTube. I love the fact that I can watch what I want with a subscription. I don't get commercials, and plus I get awesome music and I get downloads. And I'm not here to insult anybody's intelligence. I'm sure 95% of you, especially if you own a KLR, have done this sort of thing. This is for the 5% who, you know, they go, holy shit, what do I do? Keyword, gear shift lever, KLR 650. Bang, there's a little video. I didn't search it myself. I probably should have. You know what I mean? That's the good thing about YouTube. I should have had a look. I did hear little whispers here or there that you can't lift the gear stick that I had to have a go on my own. I'm thinking, there's plenty of room, but yeah, from first to neutral, but not from first to second. So have this in mind, because at the 11th hour yesterday, I was on my way to work and I had to heave on. I had no tools with me, and I had to bend that gear lever, which really negated lifting it up one tooth. You know what I mean? Here I am bending the gear lever back, putting the weight against the spline. That's a stupid greenhorn mistake. You know what I mean? Hopefully I didn't damage the seal. Hopefully I get away with it. But hey, luck only takes you so far. You got to use the noggin. And anyway, back into it. Okay, so I've got this far. Now that, I don't think that's going to weaken the gear lever in any way. One thing I will share with you guys from experience is when you're working with a rag near a grinder, not real good. Make sure you keep that rag right out of the way. Secondly, the grinding wheel, okay, it's a cut-off wheel. So if I can get focus in, you'll see where I've been grinding, like taking off little bits of burrs and stuff and shaping the metal. You can see that it has compromised the integrity of the grinding wheel, the cut-off wheel. I really probably don't know, because it's so thin. Really I should throw that cut-off wheel away, because I've made it thinner, and I have had times when these wheels are just shattered on me. That's not a pommy shat, that is a Australian shat. Yeah, it's shattered, but you do shat yourself when that happens. So and I guess luck, but your luck runs out eventually. So what I've done is I've gone down to my trusty old toolbox, picked out a file that will be good for this job. It's got a little bit of a curve on it, and I can finish shaping, taking off all the burrs with this safely, and then I'm going to throw that cutting wheel away, just in case I decide to pick it up one day and it just shatters on me. Anyway folks, thanks for watching. A grinding wheel would have been perfect for this application. Would have taken me half the time to do that job. But you know, a thing it would have done, it would have heated the metal up more as well. When you heat metal, it actually, because this would be tempered steel. So what tempered is when they heat it up, they put it in cold water to temper it, which, you know, if you heat steel up too much, you can actually soften the steel or make it brittle. And the last thing I'll do is probably throw a bit of paint and see if I can find a bit of paint to put on there, just so it doesn't rust, because it's steel and it will rust. Anyway, back to the drawing board. Okay, stopped raining for me, thank goodness. Alright, so let me see. Now, lucky this camera doesn't focus the best, but you can see imperfections. If I had a grinding wheel, probably I would have done a lot smoother job, but the file did what it was supposed to do. I got rid of the burrs, I sort of smoothed it off a little bit. I'm not going to cut my fingers on it. In reality, it's down under the bike. I don't care what it looks like. There's no oil coming from that seal, which I'm very thankful of. A really stupid mistake. Okay, so make sure this doesn't fall off. Yep. Let's see how it fits, how it changes gear. So my gear stick's around about there. It's pretty high. I really had to do it because these foot pegs actually, even though they're a different profile to the other big rubber things, and I really had trouble getting my boot under that. But the good thing with the pivot pegs was they do pivot forward, so it sort of helps with gear changing. which is a plus. Yeah, so if I put this into place and I go down in here, you can see where it was hitting here, which is sharp. Like I could cut my finger on that right now. So, but if I lift that up, oh, does it give me enough room? I might have to take more off that, you know. Maybe not. I won't know until it comes to changing gear. But you can see where it's hitting. I should have done this before I got the file out, shouldn't I? But there is clearance there. I think I should be right. Well, maybe not. Oh, it's very close, hey. Once I put that plastic cover on, I might take a little bit more off it, hey. So that's a good idea before you just paint it up, bolt it back on and say, hey, job done. It's worth just checking it out and see if it really is going to work. Okay, so I took a fair bit out of it, but before I even filed it this time, you live and you learn, don't you? I just brought it back to check. There is clearance. But see that? I went that little bit higher to go into gear, and it's still really close, too close for comfort. So I'm going to take a little bit more off and then I'll file it up. But it gives me an idea of where I have to take it off, because it changes as you go, doesn't it? So you can see before I could see it was getting close here, so I took it out of here and then I just sort of feathered that out, lengthened that a bit just to tidy it up. But you can see that the point of contact has changed, the angle of the dangle. All right. Okay, time marches on. This time, got that, it lifts. I've got a fair bit of clearance under there, even when I go up that extra bit. You can see, can I get the camera in an angle? You can see I've got clearance there. I may have possibly weakened the gear lever, but it is thick steel. I'm thinking it'll be okay. One thing I was a little bit silly about is when I pulled this off before, I was a bit rough with it. Jiggle, jiggle. No, don't jiggle, jiggle. Be really patient, because that spline, you can't, you know, that's a huge job to replace that spine. And if anybody's like me and has had to weld gear levers on in the past, you'll know you shouldn't be too rough with that. So be very gentle with the teeth on that. Just a note, talking about burring and stripping and that, see this nut? That is the condition it comes in. So even in the factory, when they put this nut on, you can see those, it's rounded, which makes it really hard to get a bite with a ring spanner. You can get the open end in and you can get a bite, but yeah, be wary. These are really easy to burr over, but it was heaps easier to take that sprocket cover off first, because I could get two hands in there, and it took like a fraction of the time to get the gear lever off. So for the 5 minutes it takes to take that off and put it back on correctly, Yeah. One little note. Where are we? Where's our little... Oh, here, our clip. The first time I pulled this off, I was like, oh, wires, I hate clips. I'll just show you how this little clip works. It's quite easy. I found it out by mistake. But when you put your wire in there, it just clips into there, like so. And with your finger, you can just... Oh, I don't know whether I can do it one-handed, but to get that clip back out, you just have to put pressure against that with your finger with two hands. And it just pops open. I don't know whether I can get that to rest there, that phone. I might be able to. Two fingers. Oh, actually, it's the other way around, sorry. It's the other way around. I tell you an untruth. You don't push that in, you pull that bit out. Look at that, see? It just pops out. There you go. You can do it one-handed. So don't panic with clips. Take your time. And it's easier just to undo the clip than to have this hanging in the way and everything. And while my sprocket cover's off, I'm just going to run a bit of chain lube in here along there, because I've been riding in the rain. Just keep my chain lubed up, that way I don't have to get it up on its side. It'll take me 2 secs to do that while the sprocket case is off. The 16 tooth sprocket is going awesome. It does make a little bit more noise than the stock one. I think there's some sort of rubber mounting system with the stock one. And another thing I wanted to show you guys is for my bark busters, I just got my old hand guards. The holes didn't line up. I had to drill some holes, but the hand guards go on. Point of interest, this hand guard, I did exactly the same as the other one, but they're different. This one sits a little bit lower to my hand than this one over here. That they are different. So if you're going to do this job and you're a bit OCD like me, you can see there's plenty of room there. What I did was I did this one first, and then I, by eye, made it in the same spot. Like, I used my thumb actually as a measuring tool, because with curves and stuff, it's hard to measure, isn't it? So I use body parts or sticks or string or whatever. I use the tape measure from there to there to find my center, and also gave me a line where to put this hole. So I did the same thing here. Are we still recording? I had a phone call there. I did exactly the same thing here, but it turns out it's shaped differently to the other side. So when you come around here, I haven't got as much room. It could have something to do with this. I don't think it has, because I've taken a bit of time to get these the same. So in hindsight, I should have lifted it another maybe 10 mil, so it would match the other side. Anyway, that's experience. I hope you learned from that one, because when I'm riding along, it sort of digs me a little bit. The one hand guard sits different to the other. But how's these Quacker hand guards? Like, how could I not reuse them? They are awesome, especially I ride in rain, night, all hours. I never drive, I always ride. Maybe in winter when it's like 1 degree, I might drive. Anyway, there you go. Okay, I did say any paint would do. found some pink paint lying around. Hey, no one's going to see it, and I'm not worried about pink. I think if I was 8 years old, I probably would be. But hey, that's done. It looks a bit rough, yeah, but you're never going to see it, and it's smooth. Really, it's just a bit hard to get to file it. It is hardened steel, so a grinding blade definitely would have been better because it would have suited that. But as I said, it would have heated up the steel too. It would have softened the steel. Maybe I could have tempered it myself, but hey, let's keep moving because I've got to get ready to go to work. Okay, one thing I didn't mention for the 5% is with these, I remember as a kid trying to get these gear levers off. There's a slot there. Wait for this camera to focus. So you have to extract this bolt all the way because trust me, there's a slot there. I've got it on this side of it because for the camera work, but the bolt sits into that slot which holds the gear lever on the spline. Okay, so you can't take the gear lever off until you fully extract this bolt. So yeah, that's for the 5%. Okay, that took like about 2 minutes, to be honest, to put on. Heaps easier with that. Definitely take that case off. Unreal. And plus you get it nice and tight. You get that bolt nice and tight. You can get your ring spanner onto it, and you can put your other hand on top to put downward pressure to make sure you don't strip that bolt. And the pink on the head of the bolt matches the pink on me gear shift lever. There you go. Aren't I lucky? All right, chain lube, chain sprocket cover will go back on. It's just started to rain again. This has got to be the best summer I've ever had. Yeah, look at that beautiful work there. Not too bad. That was my first application, putting that on. On the other side where the muffler was a little bit harder. And I found the heat of the muffler has actually lifted the vinyl a little bit. But there was a couple of spots where I wasn't happy with, but you can't even notice them. I wouldn't even be able to tell you where they are now. But there's a little bit of quacker grain in there. I wish there was a little bit more, but that's the shading of it, I guess. I'm going to highlight a little bit more down the road, just to sort of match this green a little bit better. Yeah. Air Donkey. MVDBR was here. He wasn't really, but I can't wait to meet him. Yeah. Anyway, I'm not stalking you, Josh. Just supporting you. Okay, folks, I don't even think he knows I have a channel. I haven't even told him I've got a channel. So it would be a surprise one day for him to say, hey, oh shit, you've got my stickers. Oh, fuck, I watched a video and there's me stickers. Anyway, all good. Talk to you later. Oh, okay. Oh, it's raining a little bit. Oh, I should do film mic, shouldn't I? Okay. Oh. It's raining, but I'm going to take my bike for a bit of a test run. Because that's what I didn't do yesterday. I got on the other side of the gate, taken off for work, and couldn't find second gear. And then panic sets in and you do something stupid like try and bend the gear lever. Oh man, I wish that wasn't up there. Anyway, that's alright. I'd be a liar if I said I didn't patronise them. First gear. Second, beautiful. One thing I'm a little bit worried about is I think I damaged a bike in my past by doing that bend on the spline. I think I broke the seal. So I'm going to take it for a little bit of a run. My back box isn't shut properly, but I want to make sure I can get all the gears. Oh, go this way. It's a bit slippery. Second. Okay, we got second. I had trouble getting any higher gears yesterday, but my boots get under alright. Still doesn't seem to be enough room for those big adventure boots I got. That must be why people put lowering pegs on. You know, obviously it'd be more comfortable to have lowering pegs on. First, second, third, yeah. I'm happy with that. Pardon me. Just you guys hear me burp a bit, don't you? Yeah, sorry, I wasn't gonna GoPro up, then I have to transfer the footage onto my phone to make a movie, which is a pain in the bum because my computer's not fast enough. Whoop, sideways there. That gives a chance for that chain lube that to get sorted into the chain as well before I park it back on the concrete. Whoop, it's slippery, Juddy. I do notice the weight with this tyre. I've still got the original knobby on the front, and the weight of the crash bars have totally changed the feeling of the bike. Unfortunately, it feels a lot heavier. Okay. Yeah, it feels a lot. No wonder they call it the pig. But I still love this bike. I'm willing to give it a go off-road. I'm just not as confident. Like when it comes to throwing it around, like I've taken it for a ride in the backyard before, and I've been pretty conservative because I didn't have crash protection. But I could flick this bike around. It felt so good under me, you know. And I often thought, why do people talk about it being a heavy pig of a bike? Crash protection. Yeah. So I had a strange idea. I thought, keep this crash protection, you know, for light enduro types, light adventure type stuff. But I thought, how about I take these plastics off and design a lighter radiator protection and engine protection. Design something that can just protect from a fall. without costing me thousands of dollars in cosmetic damage, possibly radiator damage, possibly engine damage. Hey, it's something to think about. The thing in life is I've got so much going on, you know, house build, you've got the maintenance of the property, you got animals, you've got work, you got children, you've got a boat, you've got so much going on. Do I have the time to do that? Time will tell. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. What can I say? One thing about the engine, the Bike Busters is, I've noticed, is I need to get a boot for my clutch cable. There's no, because the handguards acted as like a weather protection for them. But now I've got water easily accessing my clutch cable, so I'll have to grab a boot for that. The left side is not, it's hydraulic, so there's no worries on, the right side, sorry. Hydraulic, no, I don't need a boot for that, but I do need a boot for that. Anyway, to complete the job. Thanks again, guys. Man, I am deeply humbled by you guys watching my movies. I love the comments I get. I'm starting to get to know you guys, know what you like. Yeah, so Robbie and Becky, Tiger Jones, Johnny Wade. There's a few others that can't come to mind who have commented, and you guys give me advice, and that's cool. I appreciate it. But hey, they say a smart man learns from his mistakes, but a wise man learns from others' mistakes. You know, it's a bit both ways. I don't mind learning from mistakes, but it can be costly. I'm a rebel at heart, so chances are I don't always take people's advice. I appreciate advice. It's good. It's solid. It's good that people take the time to make a comment. So that's why I'm taking the time to make this end part of the video, which you're saying, what's he rattling on about? But I know you can switch off anytime you like. You know what I mean? It doesn't bother me if you switch off, you know. But the channel's growth is something that I'm looking forward to. And I'm going to endeavour to make a video a week, which I'm pretty well. I've done 26 videos now. This is number 27. How's that? From like on my old, I wish I had done it with my old Quacker with Little Sal. You know, she was such a great bike. I loved riding that, and you would have seen smiles everywhere. It just wasn't the timing though, was it? Because I did quite a lot of, you know, backyard mods to her. I had ape hangers on her, and I customised her arse end and lights and blinkers, and I even did, you know, little stuff like thermo fans, which I did mods to the clutch plates, so it wasn't a slip assist clutch anymore, because I love that, just, you know, that instant horsepower. I was addicted to horsepower, yeah. So much so I jetted it out to the max. It used so much fuel, but man, far out. I love that bike when I was overtaking people. It just boom, you know, instant boom, torque and grunt. It wasn't a speed machine, but you know, I had a lot of fun on her. But I'm having a lot of fun on this, and more fun actually, because I ride this every day. Where in this sort of weather, I'd be umming and ahhing whether to ride to work. On this, no worries at all. I got wind protection, rain protection. It's not as heavy on the wet roads. I'm going to have to get a selfie stick, I think. Hey, what do you reckon? Yeah. Anyway, guys, thank you. Keep well, and I'll see you when I see you.